Somebody call the cops. It's snippet time. Hello, gals, and welcome to Sober Living Snippets, where we live alcohol-free so we can heal our relationships, feel youthful again, and ditch regret and shame. Becca here with a snippet. Gals, we are still talking about making the most of our precious time. Yesterday, we talked about a word of the day and using your sacred space. Absolutely, living with intention is a very, very powerful way to make the most of your life. And it's especially valuable for us because one of the things that alcohol does is puts us on autopilot. In fact, that's why we drink, right? I have such a crazy mind and spinning like there's a squirrel living in my head, and I could never relax. And the only thing that would just give me a break was a drink. I get it, right? And the problem is, of course, I wouldn't just have a drink. I'd have another drink and another drink and another drink, and the next thing you know, right? The next thing you know. So we must be willing to find another way to calm the mind so we can soothe and we can get that feeling of relaxation and get a break without having to have a drink. And that's what recovery is all about. And I know that sounds like a massive effort, and I know it sounds scary, but we only have this life. And so I am just here and bound and determined to help you make that step and take that step. And then once you do, stay with it. And I know you've heard this before, reminder, right? But it's not as scary as you think. I was terrified. I thought, oh my God, how do you go through life without alcohol? There's just going to be an endless horror show, but it isn't. That is a lie, okay? So you just need to understand that. It's a lie. It is not true. It is not true. It takes the first month or two. It's different for everybody, but it passes away and it's not true. But anyway, let's get on with our second way we can make the most of our time. Yesterday, we talked about a word of the day or an emotion of the day, which is beautiful. You use your journal and your sacred space to set that intentional word or intentional emotion. Today, I want to talk about having goals, or I'm not crazy about the word goals, but I can't think of a better word right now. But something you're working towards, something you're excited about. If we don't have some sort of plan that we're working towards, then what are we doing? Do we have something to look forward to? That's actually better. Instead of goal, let's just say that. What are you looking forward to right now? What are you working towards right now that you can accomplish and get to and feel good about yourself? Are we just living? Just living day after day on waiting for something exciting to happen like a public holiday or a weekend? Or are we growing towards something that we can feel good about accomplishing? This is really important part of life, and I never did it. I told you this week earlier that I can tell you in a couple of sentences what I did for my 40s, but the same is true for my 30s and my 20s. I had none of this. I just worked and drank. When I did have a goal, it was in my early 30s when I knew I wanted a career, and I decided, okay, I'm going to go to college. So for the 8 years that I was in college and then grad school, I had a goal, I worked towards it, I accomplished it, and drank through the whole thing. And then after that, I got the job, and I stayed at that same college for 20 years teaching English. No other goals, no other nothing, just do my job so I can get paid. I wasted all that time because I wasn't growing at all as a human. You might say, well, that was a good career. And from the outside, it looked like I had, a really good life and I had accomplished things and I was a success. That's what people would say from the outside looking in at my life. They would say I was a success, except those close enough to see how much I drank. But I wasn't a success, because I was just completely wasting year after year after year, getting nowhere and doing nothing. I don't care what career you're at right now or what education you have. It's in the past. We can't just go get an education and then that's going to carry us to the grave. That's a complete waste of our lives. What are you learning now? What are you accomplishing now? It never ends. It should never end. And I only wish I knew all this earlier, right? It is not enough to say, well, I went to college in my 20s and now I'm good. Now I have a career. What are you doing for professional development? What are you doing for personal development? Obviously, you don't have to do anything, but you're hearing my voice, which means you must be interested in growing. You must be interested in living alcohol free. And I don't come on here to just harp about getting rid of booze because that's nothing. Frankly, anyone can quit drinking if they try hard enough. It's not about the alcohol. It is not about the alcohol. If you're fairly new and you're like, what the hell is she talking about? I just want you to know that it really is not about the alcohol. You put down the alcohol and then what? What have you been using it to hide? What have you been trying to run from? What are you afraid of? What are you avoiding? That's what matters. The alcohol is not your problem. The alcohol is your solution. You're uncomfortable, so you drink. You're anxious, so you drink. You're tired, so you drink. It's your solution to all your problems. It's not the problem, it's your solution. It's just the wrong one, isn't it? So to make the most of our time, we need to be working towards something. It's February right now. Wouldn't it be fun to start a project that you could finish in, say, April and just spend the next couple of months working towards something? Or maybe a longer project, maybe it's 6 months or a year. But if you're just starting in sobriety and you haven't been working on goals very much, I would really encourage you to do a shorter term goal so that you can get the dopamine hit of accomplishment earlier. Take on a 1-month project. Come into recovery with me, and I'll spend the next 2 months with you showing you. You'll get a dopamine hit every week because you'll be doing the assignments I give you, which are very powerful, and you'll feel yourself growing. The excitement it's unbelievable what happens when women join me. Their lives are never the same. It's also the reason some women don't join me, because I don't just teach you how to quit drinking. And some women are just like not ready for that. They're like, whoa, man, all I want to do is quit drinking. And listen to her. She wants me to change my whole freaking life. I'm like, yes, I do. So what can I say? That's what we do here. If you're not ready for that, then just listen. It's okay. Your time will come. You'll either be ready for it or you won't. Nobody's judging, right? I guess if I knew you, I'd be judging you. Or I guess no, I wouldn't be judging you. You know what I'd be doing? I'd be nudging you. I'm not a judger. I'm a nudger. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hello, hello. What are you doing over there? That's what I am your self-proclaimed nudger. That's my official job, my official title. I'm putting it out there into the world. Becca the Nudger. And that, my dears, is your nudge for today. What are you working towards? Exciting, right? Figure it out. If you don't have something, figure it out and go to your sacred space, figure it out, write it down, and go ahead and get started on it. And if you want help, you know where to find me. I live in the show notes. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.